Well, hello there, everybody out there in New York
Farace.
metropolitan world. What's going on?
Metsies.
Welcome to welcome to the home of the 2023 World Series champion New York Mets. They put in the book show, a New York Mets podcast. I am Steve. I got my good buddy Rodriguez right on over there. What's going on, my friend?
Over there now. I'm trying to figure out where you are
Oh
nowadays
wait,
because we
yeah,
used to sit together. Now
I'm
I'm
all around.
confused
Yeah,
because I'm
we're
supposed to be down
discombobulated.
here, supposed to be down here, pointing up to you as I usually do. But
Yes,
I have that shtick already going. Now I got to
but we
learn a
have a
new
couple
one.
of tardies.
Okay,
We-
I got it. Wait, was I going the right way? Yeah, it still works. All right,
yes,
a couple of tardies, a couple of farties.
both.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
Gotcha.
So, my friend, what's been going on in the world
Oh
of
man,
baseball? You've been watching a lot of spring training. Hey, Madeline, any spring
by the way,
training?
my
World Baseball
cuz.
Classic,
WBC, bro, Puerto Rico. What are you talking about? Are
Puerto
you crazy?
Rico.
How could you not be one for your country? Some people don't like WBC.
It's
I don't know
meaningless.
why. Maybe they have no countries. Maybe they don't have a heart. They don't have anywhere they can be at home in. However, I'm Puerto Rican, so I love my Puerto Rico. I was down there to the end. I was so happy. And then the MetLife came crashing down really, really fast. Thank you, WBC. However, I did enjoy the WBC, so I'm kind of torn, Farachi. I'm really torn on this one.
I loved it. I
I
had a
know
blast watching it.
we would have got past Mexico. I have to say it. We would have got past them if we had Diaz. You know that's true, right? You know that's true. And every
Facts.
Dominican and every Puerto Rican knows. Dominicano, we beat you, bro. Suck it. So let's keep going. I'm sorry. I
Right.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, not. Listen, we got
My
lots of stuff to
hey,
talk about.
I
What was
interrupt
it?
you again. If my
Do it.
brothers get a whiff of
Kate's
this,
not here,
get a
so
whiff of
somebody's got to
this,
do it.
yeah, I'll talk this shit anyway. It's not a problem. If my brothers see this podcast, brothers, you were very happy the PR team won. Say it in front of your wives. Don't be scared. I'm calling them out. Tell your wives that you were happy Puerto Rico won so that I know. All right? Because I know you guys
Controversy.
didn't. Yeah, a little Dominican. Their wives are Dominican, dude. They were scared. I know. I told them, tell your wives, guys, don't be scared. Puerto Rico rules for this year. In 4 years, we'll talk about it then. All right.
All right. So a lot to talk about. We are going to get into some more WBC really quickly. Some leftover business to talk about from that. Back to business. It's back to business in Port St. Lucie, getting ready
Let's
for the
go, man.
season. I'm
1 week
wearing a
left.
little Jose. We got 7 days to go. There's no number
I'm
on the
not
front.
wearing. I refuse to wear a jersey until the regular season. That's been my motto this spring training. I want to see if I can reverse jinx and get us a championship somehow. I don't know. I'm just trying anything, Farachi. Anything.
You don't have to do anything. It's happening. The
I don't,
2023
dude,
season will end
dude.
with a toast to the world champion New York Mets.
I'll
That's what's going to
toast.
happen.
I'll toast no matter what. My problem is
Yes,
we have well, that's probably part of my problem. The other part of my problem is that Vogelfat is still on our team, and Ruff is still on the team, batting 160 maybe. I don't know. On
hitting
Vogelfat,
cleanup,
180,
baby.
181, hitting cleanup. I love our team. Oh, thank God we have those guys. Why would we bring up Vientos, who's batting 280, and Batty, who's batting 330? Why would we let them
Well,
be not
Batty's
take their
Batty's
place?
still surviving out there, but he's going to definitely be a topic of a discussion today. So we'll talk
Mhm.
about him. We'll talk about Alvarez getting sent down, what that means for
Yeah.
Narvaez becoming our starting catcher.
He was
Alongside
always he was always the starter.
yeah,
I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise.
yeah. We're going to talk about the insanely expensive new seats at Citi Field that we will likely never sit in. Because,
Nope,
so
no.
and
We can
and
watch
that
him on
we're
TV though.
yes. So,
Big TV on
crazy.
big
On the
TV.
same day, the Mets announced the crazy expensive seats. They also announced something really good, I
Ooh,
think, and we'll get into that. Um,
is that is
Peterson,
that is
McGill.
that for Beltran? Is that for Beltran? Those seats? Think about the number. I would be really upset.
Oh man. All
Cheater.
right. Well, I can't yell at producer Joe just yet to get the show going, but I can get the show started. So, Farace,
What are we
do it.
doing?
Put up the bullets.
All right.
I enjoy watching some of those clips, by the way.
We gotta
Especially
get
the
some
one where I
updated
think you're gonna fart.
deals in there. We should put like a puff. Producer Joe should be able to like have a puff just coming out. Puff, plume of smoke.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
plume.
not
Yeah,
a puff.
because
Yeah,
that's it. A plume. No, a plume.
a plume. All right, so let's get started off with some World
Let's
Baseball
do this.
Classic stuff. We've
Mhm.
heard all the naysayers and how great it is, and I love it. It's coming back in 3 years. Some of the most exciting moments ever for some of these guys, with big home runs, big hits, big strikeouts, big matchup. Mike Trout versus Shohei Ohtani. Did you hear that
Wow.
97% of the
Wow.
TVs in Japan were
Wow.
on
Dude,
the World Baseball Classic for
they
that
were
last
watching
inning?
it. They're huge fans. Japanese love baseball, man. They make every game they enjoy it
There's
and they're
the
very respectful and they have a great time. I could easily see 100% of all Japanese TVs on watching those games. They're very
Yeah,
proud.
and it's been. I mean, Japanese baseball has always been. I mean, we've plucked people, players from there,
It's been
and
a
the
minor league
such.
for us. It's
Yeah,
been sort of a minor league team for us. But now the minor league is starting to grow up a little bit, and they're beating our best guys. I mean, we had a pretty good squad there, and we lost. I mean, let's be real. That team should have
yeah.
won.
For sure.
The
So
USA team.
my wife asked me, yesterday. So why aren't more players from here going to play there? And I said, it's mostly a minor league, paid less over there. Their big names come here, to
Hmm.
to try and get
All about this.
coming.
Yeah.
There you go. Producer Joe has joined us. You hear that rumbling from
Oh,
the wall back
wow.
there?
I thought I heard a
Tremendous
burp.
fellow.
It sounded like a burp, but I wasn't sure. So, he usually
Nothing.
makes more noise than that. Let's just say.
He's a very noisy fellow.
There,
There it is.
there it is.
What? What?
Eight
Brother So
goose.
Cold? What?
Eight of them.
Sorry. I was late.
Googity goo.
Sorry. I was very excited.
You had to make
I
up
was
for
very
it.
excited to finally get here. Very excited.
And
Apparently.
say goo.
8-timer.
All right.
Didn't
Terzio
know he
says
had
the
it in
Miami
him.
Marlins take 2 years to get 1 million people. I don't know. Maybe Timmy got White Castle. It says it's my fault. I was in Orlando, got White Castle up there. Finally remembered to get it up there, and devoured some stuff. Devoured some of those.
I do remember murder burgers and shit fries.
Murder burgers. And might I add, the French fries were delivered nice and crispy. I don't know what kind of nuclear stuff we got going on, but
I get onion rings from them. It's delicious,
me,
and that's
still
what
left
happens.
over.
That's
the chicken rings. My son loves the chicken ring. The little guy.
See, there's producer Joe. That's
Deborah.
what he sounds like when he comes in.
Deborah said she went to the game today. This is a 2-2
Nice.
tie up there. We did see, and we're kind of getting away from what we were talking about, but we'll talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff was more interesting than stuff that took place in the game today. But again, World Baseball Classic, Team USA got there. Single elimination, anything can happen. All that goodness. But I wanted to get your take on a couple of things. You can you can go either way with this, and I've seen it. But Pete Alonso went to go play for Team USA, didn't get much playing time, which I mean you can understand. Perhaps a move in here and there could have gotten him a couple more at bats. But do you foresee any issues with Mr. Pete from not getting his at bats in
No, not
spring
at
training?
all. Not at all. Because he's gonna make them up now for the last week. So he's gonna bat like crazy. What's the big deal? I mean, the less at bats, the less stress. That next at bat could be the one that puts him out for the season. So what if that next at bat
Yes.
he never had? You know, I mean, let's be real here. It doesn't matter. Pete Alonso's gonna hit 40 home runs. Okay, he's gonna drive in 100. He's gonna smoke the ball, and he's gonna be a team leader and a flag waver for the team. So we got Pete Alonso. Don't worry about him. He could have played more. He could have played more. If I was a good manager, not that other guy. If I was a good manager, I would have had all my all-stars playing almost just about the same amount of time. That way everyone is ready, everyone can go, and I don't have to worry about who's hot and who's not when I could see it right there. But that guy
Right.
really wasn't a good manager. Your son could manage these guys, okay? All they had to do was let them play. Keith
Yeah.
could have managed these guys.
Keith.
All right?
Keith.
What's up, guys?
As you can see from the chat, we're talking White Castle today. Burgers and fries and what they do to your insides.
Yummy.
So that's that.
Yummy for the
Producer
stomach.
Joe has
Why
been.
would you eat White Castles if you're worried about your insides? It's
No,
one or
you're
the
not.
other.
yeah, there's a choice that
See?
needs to be made. There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right. So perfect timing, Keith. We were just talking about. I asked Rodriguez, if he was concerned with the limited number of at bats that Pete got, as opposed to what he would have gotten, during spring training. His answer was no. He's gonna make that up in the next week or so, and from that standpoint, it's already happening. Nimmo bouncing all over the fields, McNeil trying to get at bats in, which is a smart thing to do. Nimmo went 1 for 5 with a triple. I think he's okay. Keep him off until opening day. But go ahead, Keith. If you're late,
Yeah,
you get
McNeil
fruit
got
cup.
like
No
9
fruit cup
at
for you,
bats,
Keith.
right? What?
If you're late, no fruit cup.
Damn it. Yeah, he got he got like 9 at bats today, McNeil. So that's good. But I worry about fatigue too. 9 at bats is a lot against live pitching. But he's young, he's strong, and he didn't play a whole lot in the WBC, so he should be fine. I'm not too worried about those two players not getting at bats. They're professional hitters. They know pitch recognition. They're proven. If it was somebody, and they wouldn't be in the WBC anyway, but if it was somebody like Mauricio and he was starting this year, I might be a little worried that he's not looking at major league pitching, but not with those two guys. Those two guys,
younger.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the deal. Pete didn't do too hot. He didn't get at bats. Lindor did well as captain of Puerto Rico. I didn't see what Ottavino did. Those type of players. Vogelback. So Terzio. Terzio's mentioned, and Daniel Vogelback said on the hot mic. He's getting a lot of hot mic stuff because the day before he screamed the F bomb out there. This time he says, I can't buy a bleep and hit. And
Yeah, because SNY's program manager knows who to mic up. That's what that's about.
Yeah. And then I'll hit this one, Joe.
He just stole a base, though, didn't he?
Right. Let's get right into
well.
that, because if he could just get on base.
These new bases are wider than the old ones.
Is he focused on the size of the new bases?
Now it'll be easier to steal second base.
Is he thinking about stealing second base?
7 years in the league.
And he's never stolen a single base. Don't steal second base.
The pitcher's not looking.
I am not looking.
See?
I don't want to look either. If Vogelback is trying to steal bases, don't get no ideas out there, man. Ant Hill, what's up? Darren Ruff, Vogelback, get them the hell out of here. Yeah. I think.
What's up?
Yeah, I think that, I don't know if you guys talked at all about DH, but
not yet.
Yeah, Vogelbach, I'm not worried about Vogelbach. You know, he's going to hit low 200s. He's going to get his dingers. He's going to, you know, be a part-time DH. I think he'll be fine. But Ruff hasn't proven anything, you know, and I you know, I'm not a fan of Ruff.
Yeah.
So
I'm just laughing. Producer Joe put looks like I look like a DH.
I was listening to another podcast, and they were mentioning
There are no other podcasts. What are you talking about?
this is the what's his name from WFAN?
Rico Bronya?
Evans. Yeah, the Rico
Yeah.
Bronya show. Yeah, and he was
scrub. What a scrub.
he was saying that
Don't
I don't know if it
start.
was him or his producer or whatever was that he
Probably
hopes
his
this
mother.
isn't one of those well I can't admit my mistake things by Epler, and the guy stays on a team for too long. I don't see that happening. But I do think that we need more production at DH.
Have we seen
Listen-
anything out of Epler that would indicate that would be the case? Like, I don't see Steve Cohen
Evan
be
Roberts,
the guy.
like Terzio.
I don't see Cohen as the guy to say, "Oh, I have too much pride." You know, put Ruff out there and clean up outside of spring training, because I know that's been happening.
No, but it's a thought, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
on.
I mean, it's a thought. You don't know, but I say get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Get them
all
both,
good. If you needed to keep
them, both of
Well,
them.
at least Ruff.
It's
If you were looking,
roster spot,
if
you
you
have
needed-
a guy that can only hit, okay? Don't come to me
Can he
with
only
this
hit?
millennial
Yeah,
nonsense.
but can he only hit?
All he can do. Okay, so then he has no roster spot. How's that?
I'm not
Zero.
arguing with you.
Get him out.
Why did you just call me millennial?
Why you-
I'm not arguing with you.
Listen, Vogelbach is not just a hitter; he's also a pinch runner. And
A base stealer.
He's a late
He is
inning
a base
outfield
stealer.
defense. He's a late inning outfield
Defensive
Thanks,
replacement.
Tommy.
That's true. That's very
Yeah.
true, Keith. I did not realize that. Yes, sir.
He's also a bullpen catcher, and he mows the lawn in the back.
Don't
you-
tell him that he's
wait,
a
wait.
bullpen
No,
catcher because
honestly,
Rodriguez
no.
will get pissed.
That's I was just gonna say something about that. That's my spot, okay? Exactly. I go crazy.
Go crazy, folks.
Hey, Farace, didn't you hear about Vogelbach leading his high school team in steals?
Oh yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's the thing.
Keith, he led his whole team in steals in high school. Can you imagine
Then he
that?
let himself to go.
I don't
Vogelbach's
think-
cholesterol must be over 500. Says Terzio.
I think Vogelbach. I think in the age of the DH, expanded rosters and stuff, I think we can have room for a player like Vogelbach as long as he hits during his part-time role.
Dude,
He gets
he's
those
a
dingers and
240
stuff.
hitter. 240 hitter. He doesn't even Rusty.
But is
Staub
he a
was the
260
DH.
hitter now?
Lenny Harris those were DHs that you could keep on a team because they hit.
Well,
And
he even plays third base,
what
Lenny
happens. They take
And
the
they could
switch away.
play.
Yeah.
They take the switch. They take the shift away, and we'll see what happens. His average might go up 10 points. Who knows?
Oh
What?
my
Well,
God. He
producer
can't
Joe,
play a defensive position though. It's a wasted.
He could play
spot.
center field.
he can
Put
be
him- put him in
defensive about
coach.
his play.
That is true. He usually is.
Ban the switch. Producer Joe said, you know, if he could hit his weight. What's Vogelbach's weight these days? 'Cause remember,
No,
he
he's
dropped.
low. He's at 230 or something.
Yeah, we don't,
I don't
want
want
him
him
to
to
hit
hit 230.
We want him to do better than that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 230.
But let's say we keep Vogelbach, right, and Ruff is gone.
Yes, sir.
What do you see for that DH spot? I mean, I have a couple scenarios in my head. But curious
Wait,
what your
I'm sorry.
thoughts
Did
are.
you say if both of them are gone?
If Ruff don't make it to Queens or Miami in this particular case, but we still have Vogelbach?
He's
What do
going to
you
Texas.
see?
I say go to the Rangers of Seattle. For me, I say get Escobar involved there, and that enables Beatty to get. I've been saying Escobar even last year. I said put him as the righty DH, and I
Right.
mean he could play
No,
third
I
base, come in
would-
later innings, maybe you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
would be fantastic. I mean,
I,
it's better than
I would
Ruff.
Escobar and Vientos. I would keep Escobar and keep Vientos. And let Escobar be the DH as the lefty DH, lefty hitter, and Vientos could do the righty.
Right.
And get rid of those bums.
Epler needs. You know what Epler needs? Epler
Bums.
needs Brooklyn Water coffee roasters because he's not awake and he's
Yes,
not
do
seeing that
it.
Ruff needs to go.
He fell
So
asleep.
if Epler to get
Fell
himself a
asleep on the
nice
couch.
cup of Brooklyn Water coffee roasters from Brooklyn Coffee Roasters,
Right.
BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com,
Not a-
he'd be
not a
awake.
race.
He'd be
Not
awake.
awake.
He'd have caffeine. His eyes would be open, and he'd see Ruff needs to go. So he needs to go, and everybody else to www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. Their
Gone.
coffee is from their roastery to your front door. Each bean, one by one, is hand selected. Probably not one by one, but the beans are hand selected,
It'll take a
and
long
they're
time.
guaranteed to ship within 24 hours of its roast day. So you get
Yes,
fresh
sir.
coffee. You can get a bean. You can get it ground. Do they have
A bean.
do they have K cups? I think they do, right? I don't know. I haven't been on the site because I have
I heard
mine on
cupcakes, and I'm not sure
auto
why.
order.
Maybe I'm hungry.
Well, there's a cupcake. I don't
They
remember
have
the flavors. I
cupcakes.
just get my
Oh,
flavor
I
from
heard
the bar.
cupcakes. Okay.
They do.
Sorry.
They have K cups. Yes, they do.
They have K cups. Thank you, Joe. But check them out.
Wait, what? Oh.
www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. They have some of the most amazing flavors, such as dark roast dark chocolate. It's a rich chocolatey dark roasted flavored coffee. Just you got to watch how much you drink in the morning, mixing it with regular coffee because it is dark chocolate, right? Farace, what are the calories in that? I don't remember. I know you got it written down over there.
Same chance as everybody else in baseball has to win a World Series this year. Settle.
Oh, the amount of home runs that Ruff hit for us last year. So
Yes. Against
yes.
the specialty left-handed pitchers.
But check them out, www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. Again, it's from their roaster to your front door. It ships 24 hours after they roast it for you. Delicious, wonderful,
24
amazing coffee.
Believe it
And
or
if you
not.
act now and use the code PopCulturePros, all capital letters, you will get a third bag free. So you can have one bag for one side of your chin, one bag for the other side of your chin, and you can do a Roman helmet with the third bag.
There it is.
www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com.
See that?
Listen,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Let's
here's a
just leave it
downer.
there.
No. Here's a downer. Thanks, Terzio. John Harper, who covers, I don't even know how this happens, covers the Mets for is it Newsday, I think, or SNY. He fractured his neck playing racquetball. So, best wishes. I don't know what to say after that. Best wishes to
Feel better,
everybody.
John Harper.
Do they play racquetball anywhere that's not New York? I've only heard New York racquetball. I used to watch them play racquetball in the parks, man. Those guys can
We used to
tense.
play, handball, racquetball. No, they have some racquetball courts down here.
Do they? I don't really see it.
At my when I first moved here, the apartments that I had a racquetball court in it.
Cool.
Yeah, we used to actually play. We played all the time.
Used to.
Yeah, well, back when, yeah.
Now it's on to pickleball. That's next up is pickleball. That's the stages:
Yeah.
tennis, racquetball, pickleball.
It gets
What
worse.
do you mean, Tim? Are we aware of Amazon in general, or is there something specific you're going to mention? Or are you just being a Weisenheimer?
Are you guys
Our very
aware
own
of
Tim
Amazon?
Tabala, everyone.
Weisenheimer. All right, let's move along here to pitching. Rodriguez's favorite topic of the whole wide world.
I do like it. I do that when I pitch.
Peterson.
Yes,
Amazing day in New York City. Yes, and we're going to talk about that. It's a pretty cool event taking place for New York Met fans around the city on Saturday. So Rodriguez, Peterson, McGill. We talked about this a little bit last week. Your preference is absolutely Peterson. I think we see that there's a need for that, a left-hander, and he's pitching,
all right, Terzio.
phenomenally well.
He's pitching well, dude. He's throwing hard. He's throwing strikes. He's keeping the ball in, keeping the ball out. I mean, the guy's has had a pretty good spring training. He was, I think he was a little bit hurt, came back, but he's still pitching very well. We need a lefty in the lineup. Every starter can't be a righty. We need a lefty to throw teams off a little bit.
Yep. Rodriguez would.
Yeah, but there we go.
Now he's back.
Oh, okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, because it just went out for a few seconds. I was just saying that the lefties. Ooh, I've been dark. You don't know me. I'm just saying. It's been the starters need a lefty, and Tyler McGill can come in as a bullpen guy because he's throwing really hard now, and he does 2 innings or 1 inning, and it'll be a lot easier for him. I think it helps the team if Peterson is a starter and not Tyler. even though I do think Tyler can be a starter, it's better for the team for Peterson.
Yeah, and I think even if they were even in stats and their performance, you still go with Peterson because I love having that lefty starter out there who doesn't necessarily throw fire. He does throw hard, but he doesn't throw fire, and he knows how to pitch. Lefties are really unique and throws teams off. Especially if you're in a playoff situation, your third game, you throw a lefty out there, and they got to shake their lineup around, and it's a beautiful thing when it works for you.
It's a beautiful thing,
Mhm.
beautiful thing. And Peterson pitched well last year. I mean, he served his time bouncing up and down between Syracuse and then when we needed him.
He did well.
The record was okay. The ERA was very nice. Very nice. I like
Well,
this
what's the
ERA.
funny thing? The funny thing about that, Farace, is like what other teams do. It's like what you see other teams like the Cardinals that they do. They'll take a guy, they'll put him in the bullpen, they'll bring him up and down, they'll let him get used to pitching. When they bring him up, he's a starter for 10 years. That's
Right.
what other teams do. So it's good to see us doing that type of stuff and keeping guys in and out and learning and developing them and actually developing pitchers and players.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do these
Mhm.
things.
And honestly,
Terzio,
it's
yeah,
nice,
go
in
ahead.
my opinion, Rodriguez, to your point, seeing a pitcher come up who wasn't overhyped. We've had all these overhyped pitchers going way back to what was it, Generation X,
Pulsifer.
right?
Yeah.
And
Paul
all
Wilson.
these hyped up players. There was so
Jason
much pressure on
Isringhausen.
them when they came up, and I think it impeded their progress. And these guys have just kind of quietly come in and they pitch well and perform and learn from the other guys, such as Scherzer and DeGrom last year and
Verlander this year.
Verlander. These are all really good things for our team because the future's pitching
Con-
and hanging around all, not just all stars, but Hall of Famers, Cy
Well,
Young winners.
those are
Exactly.
good points. Good points, Keith, with the bringing up those young guys like that and having all that. You put all that pressure on them. What happens is when they start to fail, they start to try to overthrow. If they feel pain, they'll pitch through that pain and end up
Yes.
hurting themselves more. So it's detrimental to their career to come up like that. Like
Yep.
when you do it with Peterson, you let him come up, let him learn stuff like Tyler. Learn, man. Pitching is an art form. You don't know how to pitch when you're a young guy. I guarantee you that from like 20 to 30, most of these guys are just getting by with their arm strength and a lot of luck. Once they hit that 30-year-old mark and they learn how to pitch, the game just opens up, man, and you can have fun out there with people.
I fully expect to see them in the dugout days that both pitchers aren't pitching, sitting with Max, sitting with Verlander, and just learning and asking
Mm-hmm.
questions. That's if they're smart, they'll do that. I'm sure coaches will be encouraging that as well.
Right. And then he had close to 30 starts between the big club and Syracuse. So durability was not an
What's his
issue.
ERA, right? 3.4, something
At
like that, I think.
3.24 or something like that.
Even
Yeah.
lower. Oh, okay.
I
know.
it's either 3.4,
Okay.
3.2, somewhere around that
Okay.
vicinity.
Pitch
And then
well. That's good
McGill,
ERA.
McGill has had and I'm not saying that he's injury prone, but he's had some a couple of injury hiccups here and there. So maybe, just like Rodriguez has been preaching, and this, by the way, for any other Mets podcast out there, in a week or two, they're going to have Rodriguez's take about Peterson, and that we all agreed on it, and then they're going to talk about it.
It does happen. It's funny, but
it is funny that it happens a lot.
Another thing to the point we were making before is these guys, Scherzer and Verlander, although they've had hey, Mrs. Crutch, even though they also have had injuries throughout their career, but for the most part, they really learn the routine of how to stay healthy, train
Who's
their
that? I'm
muscles to
sorry.
pitch. Your sister and your uncle, Verlander and Scherzer.
Yes.
Their careers have been pretty decent when it comes to injuries, and better than pretty decent. And
Verlander's been very durable over his years.
Right. So hopefully
How
they can
durable
teach
is your sister, Farace? Because there's a problem
hopefully
here.
they can teach these exercises and
Damn.
training and routines
Yes,
to our young pitchers and pass that on.
Yeah. All right. Moving from pitcher to the other part of the battery. We just saw Alvarez get sent down. We heard we heard Buck Showalter kind of say, "I hope he's down in AAA the entire year. That means our catchers are doing what they're needed to do. That means he's learning for another full year."
I'm sure Alvarez didn't like that though, but yeah.
I'm sure not, but you know, and you know, some fans didn't like it either. There was, you know, there was
stop it. He's
what?
right. What do you get
Oh
over
yeah,
it?
no, of course he's
Yeah.
right. I thought I was going down the wrong direction.
Oh no, not you. I'm saying the fans that are complaining.
Wow.
Narvaez still at a post game buffet. So
I love when these skinny guys
between
make
him and
fun of the fat
Vogelback,
guys.
man. So just a scroll over there. All right. So Alvarez is going to assume to be down in AAA until at least September, be a September call up, you know, in all likelihood, and see if he can help the big club at that point. But I agree with him. He should be down there. He should be learning. You know, you don't want to make a mistake 21. With Scherzer. as
21.
Right? You talk about Isaac's comment, right? Come on.
Don't make Alvarez, Gary Sanchez. Yes, that's spot
Gary
on.
Sanchez, they ruined him.
That's spot on, and now he's all over the place, right? All right, so
he's stuck in Seattle. He's over there in Seattle sucking it.
Oh, he is in Seattle, isn't he?
I don't know.
Is he in Seattle? He might be.
We send everybody to Seattle.
So Narvaez is going to be the starter along with Nito, obviously. And this has been, if we get any hitting out of Narvaez, it's an improvement over last year. So I think we're in as good a hands as we were in last year, if not better. And if something falters during the middle of the season and Alvarez is raking, don't be surprised if the temptation is there to bring him up mid-season.
He'll be up when the rosters expand for sure.
September 1st, for sure.
He could play
I don't think anybody disagrees with this, right?
Minors. No, he could play a full year in the minors with no problem.
I will say that his biggest, I guess, Achilles heel has been his defense. I think there were some shining spots in camp for his defense. He pulled a Benito Santiago Pudge move from his knees and threw somebody out at first, or almost threw somebody out first. I don't remember if he was successful, but he's looking a little better. He's blocking balls. He's getting in there, so he's improving. And to your point, he's 21. I mean, the guy's gonna hit. Yeah, he didn't have a great hitting, spring this year, but the guy's gonna hit. The problem is his defense, and I think also we have two all-star veteran multi-Cy Young win pitchers. They want some veteran catchers behind the plate with these guys. And no, that's no offense to Alvarez. He's probably super baseball smart, but you can read as many books as you want, but it doesn't replace experience. And Nito's been there for a while, and oh my God, what's our catcher's name? The one we just picked up. Narvaez is wow. He's highly touted as a guy who handles pitch. After opening day, I'll know him, but he's touted as a guy who knows how to handle pitchers. So I think that's a factor as well.
And there's other.
We heard that about McCann too.
I think there's other factors though. He's the fact that he's very young down there. They also sent down Mauricio, right? Which looks like a demotion. However, for him, it's a promotion because he went down to AAA. So him and Mauricio, two very young guys, 21. I think Mauricio's 22 also, 21, 22. They're very young players. They need a little bit of seasoning. And that's the smart thing you have to do. You have to give him a little adobo and get him ready for the game. It'll take a minute. Maybe send him back to the WBC next year, in the 4 years. I don't know.
Get him.
Let him play in the minors. They'll be fine.
He needs a little.
Stop whining. Then he might not play. He might have his legs may be tired after that.
I think I would like to see them play Mauricio in the outfield in AAA.
That's why he went down there, dude.
Yeah. Well, they have him listed as the starting
there.
Shortstop, but Vientos should be playing short down there, so he could be the infielder. Mauricio, and you had said this a couple weeks back, Rodriguez, and I've been really thinking about it. Is he's built like an outfielder, and it's so true. he's not really built like an infielder. He's
He's
built like an outfielder.
6'3", about 220.
He's
You
got
could
long
see
legs to cover
he's
ground.
big.
But I thought he came up. I remember when we first signed him, he was 17 or so, and he went to City
skinny.
Field. He was shagging balls in the outfield. He was super skinny, and they were like, "This kid's gonna have power. He's gonna be great." I always thought he was gonna be an outfielder.
Well, you were right then.
You were right in the
Well,
end.
because the images in my head of him
It looked
when he
like
signed
it,
shagging
right?
balls in the outfield. So that but I think
Well,
that
and that height and the skinny, that kind of reminds you a little bit of Strawberry. And or an outfielder's build. It's not like
he's got speed on him. I mean, he
Cal
could be our next center
Ripken's
fielder.
all over the place,
And as Nimmo ages, move him to a corner spot. I mean, those are all options. We have no idea what's going to happen, but
No, for
it's
sure.
just kind of fun to throw those thoughts out there.
One thing that made some headlines from another team today from the Brewers was that he gone.
He gone.
He said that his phone went out a couple times before the show started, so there's a potential he might not come back. And I know that you love this man, Keith. However, Corbin Burns, not Corbin. You don't love Corbin Burns, or maybe you do, but he's one of the top 5 pitchers in baseball. Pitches for the Milwaukee Brewers. Announced today that he was signing with Scott Boras. And the reason why he signed with Scott Boras, among others, is he didn't like the Brewers' tactics during arbitration. So he becomes a free agent at the end of this year. Fun to think about that the Mets could potentially sign him. We now have this relationship kind of with Boras because we have money now. But I know your take on the Boras thing. But I just thought it was an interesting turn of events.
Yeah, I'm not against Boris's players, obviously.
Oh, I know that.
But yeah, I mean, I think right. I don't think Boris is. He's really good at what he does. It's hard for me to say he's bad. He's no, what he does, he's really good at. But what he does is he convinces owners to overpay for players that don't deserve it, and that's not good for baseball.
That's
No
bad on
knock
the
on
owners, though.
Boris. Boris does what he does, and he's really good at it. But getting
he does what he does.
He be what he be, do what he do.
Be what he be.
Do what he do. If we get Burns on the team, I mean, another Cy Young pitcher. Except this Cy Young pitcher is going to be what, 29 at the time, somewhere in that range.
And the only reason I even thought about it was because, in the long run, Verlander, if you sign, and this is way too far in advance, but if you sign Burns next year, maybe Cohen is like, all right, that's cool, I'll do that because $80 million are coming off the books in Verlander, Verlander and Scherzer after next year, depending on even if Scherzer goes the full 3 years, it would still come out. All right, let's move forward here on to Amazing Day. Amazing Day is an event that's going to be taking place on Saturday, all over New York City. So basically, it says on March 25th, the Mets are celebrating the greatest city and the greatest fans in the world. Just throw on your Mets hat and experience iconic New York City institutions like the Met Museum, Metropolitan Opera House, Gotham Comedy Club. You get, there's going to be events all over the city. And if you continue to scroll, it tells you wear a Mets hat to all these places. Shop at Mets.com. Ticketed
Will it help
events.
you with your sinus issues? Because I hear those sinus issues. I recognize that from a mile away, bro.
Well. Yes. Continue to go down here, and here's the map. This is going to tell you where you can do certain things. It's New York, so maybe people aren't going to tell you. But there's pop-up shops also. Like there's like, just for example, you can click on here and merch pop-up at a Citibank in Jamaica, the Jamaica Hillside branch. At that time, between 11 and 2, you can go get free bobbleheads or rally towels.
Okay, I was about to ask that. So what does it mean that you can go? I mean, I can go to these locations anytime, but what does it mean on that day? So there's freebies and
for all this freebies.
Very cool.
So
Very cool.
Then like that one, the Diamond Takeover from 1 to 3, meet former Met stars and watch baseball's future stars in action at
imagine for
Meadows
us, like
Park.
we were like back like 12, 13 years old and we had all the
We-
time in the world, we would plan it out and pick all the best spots.
We'd hit every single spot.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool, man.
And then there's stuff like what's the hat one? Just wear your gear. So that one is 2 rocking shows at the historic Webster Hall, and just
Pretty
wear your
cool.
hat. So basically, anywhere you go on Saturday, you can run into a whole lot of orange blue.
Is that true? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm jumping subjects because I just read what Isaac wrote that Lagares was a shortstop. I didn't know that or I don't remember that. Is that true? Lagares played short?
I don't doubt anything Isaac says. He's never lied to us ever.
No, he's pretty good. Yeah. I'm gonna look that up, Isaac. I didn't know that. And that's a good point, right? To the whole going back to the Mauricio thing. I need a spotlight. I have a light here, Miss Farace. I just didn't
What do you
turn it
need?
on. She said I need a spotlight.
Oh, Keith, you need a spotlight.
Yeah, I have a light here.
Show
but
that sexiness.
I came home. I came running in from work, and I didn't have a chance to completely set up. But I will put it on next time for you.
All right, and then the only other thing with that Amazing Day, there's an Amazing Day sweepstakes for a chance to win a once in a lifetime game day experience. Grand prize will get 4 premium tickets to a 2023 New York Mets regular season game. A son of a bitch. Throw out an honorary first pitch of the game.
What?
Attend batting practice before the game and
What?
sit in on the pregame press conference.
Oh man, whoever wins that's getting robbed. I'm stealing your tickets.
And then the second prize is 5 winners get 2 tickets to attend 3 2023 Mets games.
That's awesome.
So, that's cool. Nice. Here it is. You get the owner that loves the team, loves the city, loves everything about it, and he's bringing up all these things and giving back. Speaking of giving back, there's 2 things here, opposite ends of the spectrum. One is that there's a new Cadillac Club at Citi Field, in which we got to pay for that brand new TV so we can play Mario Kart and have a lot of fun. Okay. In order to do that, we need to sell $25,000 tickets. So that's the Cadillac Club. I think it's in right center field? 25 grand for Terzio. Pocket change. I can get that out of
one game.
Yes.
Or for the season?
Is it for? No, I think it's
What do you? One game? Come on! Did they give you a Cadillac that you leave? You get like a free used Escalade or something.
Top seat costs $25,000. If fans want to purchase seats in row 3 and 4, it's going to cost $19,000 per seat.
Per game or per year?
Member only.
No, that's like a seat license. I'm reading it. It's like a license.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and it could seat 100 people. Oh, whoa.
Oh, hey, yo.
Hey, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Hey.
Talking to me?
So Terzio said we should sell Pop Culture Pros. Take the money and buy 1 ticket.
If we sell Pop Culture Pros, we'd buy the whole stadium. Believe it.
Believe that.
So,
Producer Joe, you treating? Taking us out to New York?
I'm reading the details about the Cadillac Club. This is crazy.
Good look. Oh, indoor space that includes.
the
part that you're reading?
It's going to be limited to 25 to 30 members. You're allowed to bring 2 guests with you to each game. So you buy your licensed seat. It's essentially buying 3 tickets. So there's that.
That's pretty amazing, man. I mean,
personal beverage coolers makes it all worth it.
Let's take
no. Hold on. Food, wine, beer, soft drinks are provided, so it doesn't say available.
I only drink hard drinks, but thanks.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I could drink a good amount of
I better be getting some like
beer,
30-year-old Glenfiddich on a IV. I don't even know if they have 30-year-old, but if they don't, they should make it for 25 grand.
So, like, if one of the things that we wanted to kind of touch on was how much do we spend on baseball every year? Now, there's two ends of the spectrums here. You got those $25,000 seats, and then you also have what they're going to be rolling out for the college kids and the college aged kids that have been quote unquote, well, really priced out of potentially going to some of these games. So exactly. But to combat that, the Mets are going to be utilizing text messaging, to cater to college age kids, and the use of $15 seats to get them out to the ballpark. And then once they get to the ballpark, everything that they've put in, you start attracting fans over and over at the $15 price mark, and then hopefully they become fans from there. But basically, it's going to be, they're going to verify that you're a college student, and you'll do everything to text message.
Kudos to Cohen, because he, not that he couldn't have thought of this himself, and maybe he even did, but he hired some like top-notch marketing people.
Yeah.
How do I get fans, like you were saying, on this side of the spectrum and fans on this side of the spectrum? How do I get the rich to come dump money, and how do I get the people that don't have money to come become fans who grew up to be rich and dump money?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. I'm super happy this guy owns the team.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I heard, not to get into the politics of it all, but I heard that something got passed in Albany that is now going to allow the Mets to continue building on property. So that gets
Casino?
even maybe casino, which then Joe's there. Joe's there. He's booking 2 weeks at the new Mets casino.
I'm not a casino guy, but if I
Generous.
were to go to the Met game and a casino's there, that would be so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
they'd probably have all this entertainment and kind of stuff. It's, did they get rid of all the junkyards? I'm totally going off course here, but
I
I
know exactly. Like if you get an aerial view of, even especially in like
because as a
the
kid, I
old
walked
80s
through all that.
videos.
You know what
No,
I mean?
but remember, like the old 80s videos when they would have the helicopter shot, and then you
Mhm.
just see like junk all surrounding Shea Stadium,
I used to do, and I did demolition. I used to
tires. And...
dump stuff there too. Yeah,
You're part of the problem, buddy.
well, no, I mean legally. At least my part was legal. Whatever they did with the junk I gave them is their problem. But
All right, but let's. I mean, how much are tickets these days? For a family of four, you're looking at. I mean, if you want decent seats, what are you looking at? $75, $110 seats, $400 just on tickets alone.
you got to call 718-777
TIXX.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should have called out, and we should make a phone call out to TIXX and ask them these pertinent questions on live on the air. Reggie, Sanford, Julio gone. Sanford and Son all gone. All the stuff is gone.
I'm trying to look. Where would I find ticket prices? MLB.com? I guess so.
Yeah.
Right?
But producer Joe, so let bringing you in on this. So you go to let's I don't know if you want to say.
I mean, I thought about it. I'll tell you why I thought about it. Why I brought it up, because ticket prices are up. Concessions are up. Merchandise is up. Personally, for the last 2 years, I no longer am paying for MLB TV because I'm getting it from T-Mobile. So I am not
and he didn't panic at all about it.
Paying for MLB TV anymore.
Hold on. Isn't it funny, Farace, how him and I switch places?
Yes.
Because remember, I'd bitch every year. What are they gonna do?
Where is it?
Yes. Anyway,
Well,
sorry,
I mean, honestly, without
I understand. I'm with you.
Trying not to exaggerate, but I mean, I don't know how long MLB TV has been around, but I think I may have been on with them from the first year or maybe even the second year. As soon as they were available, I was on board. So my brother-in-law and I have been sharing it and sharing the cost for it from day one. So I've been used to paying for it, and it didn't phase me to pay for it, and getting it for free was a bonus. So, oh my God, it's free. And so now I'm not paying for MLB TV, and I guess I'm getting a little bit older and a lot less bolder than I used to be, and I don't enjoy being at a game as much as I enjoy drinking a beer and watching it on
Oh,
my
yeah.
big TV, and I'm much more comfortable. I if I go to a game a year, it's a lot. I go to my spring training game. I spend, X dollars at a spring training game every year, but I spend less every year on MLB, and I know the prices are raising to pay for these salaries, and I get that.
Oh, for
But
sure. Yeah.
conversely, I'm spending less. I mean, I'm not paying for MLB TV, and I'm going to the park a lot less because of the cost and the comfort factor. So, I mean, are people going more? Are people going less? I don't know. I mean, are you guys going to the games more? The same?
I'm gonna wind up going. I mean, I only go down here to obviously to Mets games, but I'm gonna wind up going less just because they're gonna play less games down here. As far as
Yeah.
merchandise is concerned, I've paid for MLB TV for a long time now, so I'm not. It's not like it's like whatever. And I just looked it up. I wanted to see how long. This is the 21st season of MLB TV, so it started in 2002.
T-Mobile has paid for my MLB TV for 6 years in a row. This is the first year that I'm actually paying for it.
And what was the cost on it this year? 129, 139.
I gotta check my statement. I know they're quoting 150, but I got it early, so I think it was 129. I gotta
Yeah,
check
something
my
like that. But
check
yeah,
my silver
Joe
card.
makes good points. It's certainly much more comfortable to sit at home, watch the game, rather than sit in traffic or sit on the subway and go. But if I was in New York, I'd be spending a shit ton of money on Mets
Yeah,
games.
I'll be
I
honest.
think
You know what? I guess it's
maybe
part
that
of being
changes it, right?
here. You know what? It does change it. Honestly,
I
it
don't
does.
like the park down
The
here, Joe.
atmosphere, you know what? It has a lot to do with the park down here. A
Don't like it.
It's dull.
lot.
Yeah.
Where it is, the
And it
park
doesn't have a baseball
itself,
feel in there. Like the whole
there's the decor, the whole thing, everything about it, the parking lot, the tailgating, lack thereof. It's not. It doesn't have the same. The same. It doesn't have anything like the feel of City Field.
No way.
It's just, I look, that spring training game that we go to every year is that's a ball game.
how much
Yeah.
money? How much money you spend on the raffle wheel?
No, look,
I
I
always throw
mean,
$20 at it. I'm sorry, I have to. It's just,
we
and I
Generous.
end up giving stuff out to kids that I win, but it's just funny.
I mean, I'm talking in terms of what actually goes back to MLB. I'm talking about, like, not knockoff jerseys you're buying off Amazon. I'm talking, the real deal Holyfield that you're buying at the stadium, the MLB licensed merchandise.
Right.
How many times are you going and spending for the good stuff that you want to get the real deal, and you don't do it all the time, but you do it for the stuff that you want to. And how often do you do it? Are you doing it as often now?
I've always run my hats into the ground. I noticed that some of them are getting, so I might buy one this year. But as far as jerseys are concerned, no, I will not spend
They're just too expensive.
$150 on a jersey. I won't do that anymore. I've done it a couple of times early when I was in my 20s, but no, that I won't do. I don't ever have to buy anything myself. My Christmas, Father's Day, everything's default Met stuff. So
Insert mortgage.
that's where
kids,
my
and bills,
licensing
and
stuff
you
goes.
stop spending that money on a jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know where the owners are recouping this money for these salaries that are going nuts this
Advertising, I
quickly.
think, covers probably most of that, Joe.
A lot of the TV, but that's the thing. Jeez, that's the other thing. The TV thing, the whole regional sports. What's it? What's
Right,
it, Bailey?
the
Is it
regional
Bailey's?
sports, right?
Ballyhoo?
I know what you're talking about. We were having
Yeah,
this discussion.
Bally's.
Yeah,
Yeah, Valley Sports.
yeah.
I heard they already claimed bankruptcy.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes, and they're close to where they're going to lose their contract. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's
So
that's going to be a
they
big
replaced
deal.
FX Sports. I'm very confused by that.
Fox
Which is
Sports,
Fox Sports,
like
right?
Fox Sports Florida. Yeah, that's Bally's where the Heat and the Marlins play. But
Interesting.
that's also, if the regional thing goes away, that's where the commissioner started talking about
That's where
blackout.
MLB steps in and tries to fix the blackout problem.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So maybe this Bally Sports thing is a good thing in the long run, because
So
blackouts suck.
let me ask, right? So I'm paying more now. Well, by default, I'm paying more because the first year I'm paying it all for MLB.TV. But people who are yearly subscribers, such as yourself, Farace, are paying more now than you did last year. I think it went up a little bit, right? Not much. I think it went up like $10
Yeah,
or something like
$10.
that. But you're gonna have less games. They might not be all Met games, but now there's more exclusive games with Apple. There's more exclusive games with ESPN. All these exclusive games that are blacked out from MLB.TV. Um, do you think it's fair that they keep raising the prices?
Well, if no, I wouldn't have, but and this is not for everybody. These are, some of the things that they have on there is very nerdy baseball things, but
I know
they've
it is
they've
fun.
come out with all this content, um those cut highlights that look like they're in 8K, interviews and different segments of MLB Network shows. They put all that stuff on there now, whereas before it was just the games, and then you could replay the games. They've been adding a little bit here and there, but now there's like, even you can go back to some of the historic games in history and just sit down and watch.
Did you see
It's
that? I just gave you the
pretty
Steeler
cool
base
thing.
sign or what?
Oh,
Saw that?
Vogel.
Yeah, Isaac says Apple is trash. I kind of like their broadcasts. I don't think it's bad at all. I prefer our folks,
Phenomenal
but
video on that.
wow, yeah, it really it puts the capability of my TV to its limits. I mean, it is beautiful, without a doubt. But I
Power
do
of the
think it's a
sun
little
in the
unfair
palm of
that
my
I'm paying
hand.
this money and I get blacked out of certain games, especially
Yeah, I
for
hate
my
the
home
blackout.
team. I don't think it's fair.
See, but that's where Frank's wrong. Sorry, Keith. I'm
No, you're fine.
sorry.
Yeah, you're
sorry.
right.
Yeah. I just that
You
I had,
Bill
I
got
had to
riled
jump
up.
out of yeah. I did. It riled me up, man. See, no, Frank, you're paying for
That's
your
what we thought.
cable and you're paying for part of it,
Yeah.
and SNY is part of your cable bill. And if
Oh yeah, there's contracts. Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
man,
And you're paying into the Wilpons.
yeah, that's
Well,
right.
Ponzi's.
Part of your cable bill every month, 17 cents of your cable bill is
Yes.
going right to the Wilpons.
Plus
Think
tax
about
and fee,
that.
3 cents tax and fees.
Every time you pay your cable bill, think about that. Sorry,
Yeah.
Keith. Go on, man.
No,
Sorry.
I agree with you 100%. Either way, right? You're paying. It's just it is what it is, and I don't mind paying for the MLB.TV now that I'm off T-Mobile. Prefer it free, obviously, but now that I'm actually paying out of pocket, I'm starting to think about these things because they just signed a new deal with Apple, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how many games are you taking away from me now that I'm actually paying you cash? I
I
just
think
seen
it's
100,
one right now, for the Mets. I think one
but
for the
they have
season.
a 50 game exclusive
Yeah,
now.
I'm not
So it could
sure.
be 10 next year. It could be
Yeah,
15. It could be 3. Who knows? But the thing
yeah.
is, you're taking that away from me. So why don't I get that deducted from if I have marked as my favorite team, the Mets,
As
my
someone who
bill?
has
But
paid for it for many years, you'll not be so resentful. You'll learn to love listening to how we call the game. Trust me.
I do.
You,
Well,
no, listen to me. No, listen to me.
listen to
When
me
those
now.
games
I mean,
happen, when those games happen, initially
Pay
you're going to be
attention.
very annoyed, and you can ask Kat. She'll be like, "Yes, I know. I can't believe this game is blacked out. I can't believe it." And then I put on the audio feed, and 5 minutes later,
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
miss
you
Rendazzo, but
know, I appreciate the fact that I'm forced to listen to Howie about once every other week, and I enjoy
Yeah.
it
in New
because
York, my father and I, when we were kids,
Just home games,
when
though,
I
right
was a,
now.
when we were kids, my father wasn't a kid the same time as me. Thank God. That would be weird. But when I was a kid and I'd watch a game with my father, we would put on I think, what was it, 1050 back then, or some weird station, and we would listen to the Murph, and we would listen to Gary. They would be together, or whomever else was playing with the Murph, and we would mute the TV and just listen to the Murph call the game as we watched it. It was a little off timing wise, but it was so much more quality with our baseball
And how many
radio
people?
team.
How many people did you used to see in the stands with their Walkmans on?
I had Walkmans. I used to go to the stadium all the time with a Walkman. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
we
the
used to have the
earpiece.
little
Yeah.
headphones with the little antenna that came up here, and you tune it over here. I mean, I'm old, so half the people probably don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, I would do it all the time because our radio team, and I don't know if this is for every team or
My
we've just been
beer is
spoiled, was
Rheingold, the dry
rye
beer.
I actually have a Rheingold
Off the
truck,
rails.
like little Hess type of truck. Yeah, we're definitely going off the rails. But yeah, I mean, this conversation became more like nostalgic and thinking about but
Well,
no,
we're talking about Walkman.
Yeah, it's interesting.
See what happens when you tell me to unmute my mic? See what happens?
No, it's pretty cool, Joe.
Yeah.
I it's good your voice chiming in, but because we're all on the same page when it comes to this stuff. If we're not on the same page, you got to mute yourself because
Yeah. All right. So I think that does it for us. We didn't
show.
get too much in. Well, we got into that. MSG is rolling out the app, $10 each game. That is right. The Knicks. Yeah. Don't. That's for one-offs, obviously, but I mean the whole NBA package is like $350 for the year.
What the fudge? Yeah, let me say something, okay?
Wait, but 10 times the 82 games, that's 820. What are we doing here? What?
Basketball is not worth it. I know there's a lot of fans out there. It's just not worth it. Let me tell you something.
Well, with basketball, you can get the one team if you want.
Do they have the fourth quarter package where you don't have to watch the rest of the game because it don't matter?
That's true. They do. I don't know that they have that.
That would be
but
cool.
However, there's 10 games left, Keith, in the NBA, and you can get the NBA League Pass right now for a very low cost of $15 for the last 10 games. However, let's get a roll.
MLB nailed it as far as streaming games.
Yeah,
every other league has failed. That's
not only that, but I don't know what the other leagues have done as far as their streaming capability, but I have watched many games on my phone, my iPad, as well as my TV on my patio, as well as my large living room TV. Everyone has modified to be the perfect, like crisp, perfect view. And I have to say, I actually, of all of those devices, prefer watching on my iPad. It looks fabulous when I watch a game on my iPad. It looks almost 3D. They have got it down. They really do.
I watch it on my 4K Fire Cube on my TV, and I mean, it's beautiful. So MLB TV, you're worth $130, even though I'd rather not pay it.
No, they do a good job. I got to.
Tom says the NHL has MLB doing its streaming. Is that all the? Is that the NHL package, or is that because I know ESPN Plus for that has been a huge pickup for me? But we'll talk about that another time.
Oh man, we should have another podcast. We should just call it the Talking Shit Podcast and talk about all this stuff. We can go on forever. But yeah,
it's everybody who's. I thought it was just the Knicks, so it's all the teams that are on MSG. That makes sense. $10 per game. Want to watch the Devils, Islanders? Wow. Okay. Yeah,
actually,
MLB
isn't there
TV
a show
is the
like
best
that?
as Bohan.
Isn't there a show like that on the Pop Culture Pros Network right now, Farace? Just talks sports in general, even these type of
unsportsmanlike conduct. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
So if you're not subscribed to Pop Culture Pros,
you're a douche.
Wrong with you? Yes,
you're a douche. All right, so that'll do it for us today. Keith, you have anything inspirational? I'm just kidding.
I feel very
on the way out?
I feel very melancholy, being all very nostalgic to this whole. Very melancholy after all this nostalgic talk. So I'll just be very peaceful and say, screw the Phillies, screw the Braves. I hope you get more injuries.
More injuries is key. They had one of them today.
Let's go Mets.
All right. All right. Producer Joe, what you got on the way out here?
We're all in much better headspace than we were a week ago.
Yes, that's for sure.
Edward Diaz, WC sucks.
Oh man, we're all no, none of that.
Walker
We're
Tom.
yeah. Now the lineup. I know we didn't get to it, but that lineup
Yeah, we didn't get there.
looks. It really does look good, and our pitching staff is improved, and it's going to be a good season. It's exciting. I have, as we all do, all of us, not just us, all of our listeners and commenters, that we all have met friends and family, and I'm sure we all have friends and family that are like already Debbie Downer, like, oh man, we got
All
this
over
our average age pitching staff, and now we got bullpen problems, and we got this, and we got such a great team, and I'm very optimistic still, and hope springs eternal. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be fun, and I'm chomping at the bit, and I feel a little guilty being as bitter at the WBC. I missed some good baseball, and
did.
I'll try to be a little more open-minded when it comes back in 8 years, and
3 years.
Everybody said it was. Everybody said, I
things.
thought you hated the WBC because I'm talking about the news. I'm like, I just said that because I'm mad at that Diaz got hurt. I still feel what I feel about players and their commitment.
I'm still going to feel the same way about the whole playing in March, and I'll probably bitch about it again when it comes back, but I'll appreciate the baseball of it. So, and the fact that it's not going away. So let's go. One more week, have some real games. We got our guys back. We'll have some, better action coming in the coming days, and real action in a week. Let's go Mets.
Hell yeah.
Let's go Mets.
Yes. Yeah. So, follow us all over social media, updates on our group page. Tuesday will be our show next week. Yeah.
Oh,
I tried to get that out. I get flustered when the hair starts creeping. Tuesday will be our next show, a couple days before opening day, and we'll get into our prediction show. So that's where we predict our thoughts for the players and the league. And I will say that producer Joe has hit spot on a couple of memorable ones. One was Yoenis Cespedes, his favorite player of the 2010s. Stinking it up a few years back, and then Cano, last year. I can't believe Cano was just last year. Feels like 5-10 years ago already. All right, let's get the hell. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Did you read that they changed all the banners? They updated all the banners. Yep. Steve Cohen, we love you.
Condensed stuff and moved stuff around. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. That'll be it for us. Look out on popculturepros.com for Fandango codes for the Super Mario Brothers movie that's coming out in 2 weeks. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see it. Speaking of nostalgia. All right, producer Joe, get us the hell up out of here. Peace out, everybody.
Put it in the box.